Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you get your ex back. Today, I want to talk about the number one reason why you can't talk your ex into coming back. It's also why you can't stop someone from breaking up with you. But usually when people are searching online for a video or a podcast, they've already been broken up with. And so I'll speak more to the reason why you can't talk them into coming back, but it also applies to why you can't talk them out of not breaking up with you, although I know everyone listening has probably already been broken up. But before I do that, I want to remind you to be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos, and while you're at it, tap the bell icon so you'll be notified when a new video is up. So the reason you can't talk your ex into coming back is because you are coming from a place of taking value instead of giving value. You probably don't know what I mean, and I will explain that in a moment. But let me start with this. You're not looking at things from their point of view. You're just focused on how the breakup will affect you. And so you give reasons like, well, I love you. Come back. I love you. Well, how does that benefit them? If someone isn't interested in you, they don't care if you love them. Think back to people who were more into you than you were into them. Did them saying, I love you or I like you make you change your mind about them? Make you raise your interest level? No. You only cared that you didn't feel the same way as them. You didn't like them. You didn't love them. So saying to your ex that you love them is not going to change their mind. Or another excuse you might use is, well, we've been together for a long time. Okay. But now they don't want to be together. They're not going to be convinced to stay based on how long you've been together. Again, how does this benefit them? Or you might say, well, no one will treat you as well as I have. Well, right now, they're willing to take that risk. Or you might say, well, I can't live without you. Well, they can. And yes, that was my cat in the background. Or you might say, I miss you. Well, they don't, at least not initially, not at first. So these are all bad arguments to use in a negotiation. The best negotiators know that if you give people what they want first, then they will be more likely to give you what you want. And this applies both for business and personal situations. Now, let me add that this does not mean, ladies, that you give a guy sex to get a relationship. Oh, well, Lucia said first give them what they want and then they'll give you what you want. No. This does not apply to this situation, so don't do it. I used to be a photographer, and I remember that in the beginning, people would come with their own ideas about how they wanted their photos to look. And sometimes I would think, that's not going to work. That's not going to look good. And I would tell them, and I would say, we shouldn't shoot that. That's not going to work. Here, I have this other idea. And they were always resistant to my idea because they were adamant, like, no, this is my idea. I want to shoot this, and I don't care if it doesn't look good. And so I learned, it's like, okay, you want to shoot that? Great. No matter how bad I knew it was going to look, I would say, sure, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's shoot it. And then I would say, by the way, I have an idea too. Do you want to do that? And they would always say, oh, sure, because I had given them what they wanted or what they thought they wanted. And then they were open to my idea. So I mentioned earlier about the fact that when you're trying to talk your ex into coming back, you are taking value instead of giving value. And I think that can best be explained with these two examples. So for the ladies, when a guy says he's just looking for sex, let's say you've just met someone, and when we hear a guy is just looking for sex, our reaction is, ew, we're turned off, because what are we getting out of it? We're not programmed to just have sex just for the sake of having sex. We want something out of it, usually a relationship. And so when we see this type of guy, we see that as taking value. He just wants what he wants, but what do we get out of it? We don't get anything out of it. He's just out for himself. Now, the reverse of that, of course, would be for the guys. Women that they meet and right away they say, well, I want to get married. I'm looking for a husband. I'm looking for marriage. I'm not just here to fool around. I'm not here to waste my time. I want to get married. Men are wired to spread their seed, so to speak, and they will eventually get married, but it's a turnoff if a woman comes at them focused on marriage. She wants something, but they don't know what they're going to be getting in return. So she's out for herself, but what do they get out of the situation? So that's what it means that you're taking value instead of giving value first. You're not giving the person what they want in order to get what you want. So if, a guy, he wants sex, okay, well, he's got to wine and dine, take her out, make it look like maybe there is going to be a relationship. And then, of course, she's more than happy to have sex instead of just, well, I just want sex. And the other example, the women, they have to show what value they're going to give to the guy that would make him want to settle down. So she can't just be coming from a place of, this is what I want and who cares what you want. It's like, first I'll give you what you want. I'll show you that I can be a wonderful addition to your life. And then you'll have no problem adding me to your life. So then what is the solution as it applies to a breakup? Well, obviously you can't talk your ex into not breaking up with you or coming back. So give them what they want. And right now, what do they want when someone breaks up with you? They want space. They don't want you in their life, so give it to them. You have to understand human nature. People will do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. And so if they are in enough pain during no contact, they will be more likely to come back. That's why you have to leave them alone and not talk to them and just disappear so that they can miss you, feel anxiety, and wonder if maybe they made a mistake. But they have to feel that pain in order to come back. Leave them alone. Do not try to talk them into coming back or to not breaking up with you, and you will have a much higher chance of getting them back. But otherwise, trying to take value and trying to give them your reasons why they should come back or they shouldn't break up with you is not going to work. So if you're going through a breakup, I know it is a painful time, and instead of trying to talk to your ex, trying to get them back by talking, why don't you reach out to me and we can do a private coaching session and I can help you get your ex back. And the link for that is below. It's theartoflove.net. If you're listening on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe. If you're listening on iTunes, I would appreciate if you would rate and review the podcast. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.